of you who are new to gardening, what I recommend is go slow, take time, get to know your environment, work out where the sun comes up, where it goes down, where there's sun, where there's shade, where there's trees, and start small. Perhaps even start by having some pots, preferably wicking pots or self-watering pots, because in this climate watering is an ongoing issue, as you will know. So just become familiar with your environment and really have a think about what's realistic for you. So start small, ask questions, come and hang out here at Westside or at Alice Springs Community Garden at Eastside. Loads of people who are involved in our community gardens here in Alice Springs are here to become part of the garden communities, but also to learn lots that can be applied to their home gardens. The next thing is to be really conscious of your growing medium, your soil, your potting mix, depending on what you're growing and in what way. The medium that you grow within is fundamental to the health, vibrance and nutrient density of any edibles that you're growing. Preferably start making compost, having a worm farm. You end up with massive amounts of microorganisms, and it's microorganisms that generate all of the quality in the soil that support roots being strong and able to actually absorb what's needed for a plant to be healthy and vibrant. The compost also adds a whole lot of organic matter to your soil, which holds moisture. Obviously, again, really important in terms of how much you have to water. Here at Westside, we're basing this garden design on permaculture ethics and principles, and one of the many principles is to make sure that you plant and grow things in an area that you normally would travel through on a regular basis. So between where you arrive home and go to your front door, where you walk to the letterbox, where you go to the clothesline, for example, start there so it's there and you see it on a very regular basis. That goes also for worm farms in particular. Even if you're not giving little bits of food every day to your worms, you need to be checking your worms every day. You need to be making sure that they're damp, that they're not drying out. In this climate, again, that's one of the major issues with worms. A couple of hot days and they're dead. Planning your watering is really, really important. Again, miss a day of watering in summer in Alice Springs and you've potentially lost what you've been growing. So if you're growing things in ground, unless you're very happy to do hand watering, I would highly recommend. It's really inefficient and often not deep enough. Therefore, I would recommend a small irrigation system. You can set those up really simply. There's lots of places where you can get advice about how to do it without it costing a lot and being complicated. So little dripper systems are a great idea. If you want an effective garden that is really productive, make it diverse. Don't have just, a great big field of one plant that just beckons an insect. Like right now we have grasshoppers, in plague proportions after the rains. If we just have one crop, they will just come and decimate it. Have different crops. Here at the garden at the moment, they're devouring our lemongrass hedge but leaving everything else alone. So have lots. By having lots of flowers, allowing your plants, some of your produce to go to seed, you can collect the seed to plant your next crops if you're using heritage seeds. But you've also got all those flowers that are attracting beneficial insects. So you end up with a really diverse world surrounding you. So, some of the goodies eat the baddies and so on. And you just don't have to end up using, chemicals, fungicides, herbicides and so on, if you end up with a good integrated pest management system in this way. For those of you connected to social media, look us up, Westside Community Garden on Facebook and Instagram. You can find links to us and information about us on the Arid Lands Environment Centre website as well. We have our own website that is soon to be launched, so it's all starting to happen. So I'm sure that you'll find a link to find out more about what's going on here. Become a member and you get access to the garden at any time, so you can come to just hang out, put your feet up, watch, observe, or you can work on a project that takes your fancy, that meets our collective goals.